Now we're going to want the directing and production. That's going to be Justin. You're going to take over here a little bit.
Yeah. When you do a show, sometimes you'll want to put in some, obviously you. Sometimes you just want to be behind the camera and you don't want to have anybody see what you show. It's very important, however, that when you script and then when you finally start to put your video and your game footage into your video, make it match up. When you're talking about something, make it match up. Put that thing in there. I can't tell you how many times somebody has linked me to a review. Oh, Justin, could you tell me what you think? And I look at it, and it's just this guy talking, and it's just video game footage. And he's not talking about what's up there. Oh, the jumps are off. Well, show me that the jumps are off, So make sure that you have all these things in order. If you are on screen, don't just do from the middle of your chest up. Those mix up angles. Diamanda Hagen puts the camera above her, although she doesn't do video game reviews, but she makes it interesting. James has tons of different types of shots. Same thing with Pat. Rue sits in front, but it's more of a torso.
I was waiting for that.
But it's more of a torso, and he gives a lot of room to one side so that if he's showing something, it comes out and it uses the space well.
And to get back on his good side, he does have a damn fine torso, Rue. I must say that.
Whistle.
If you have plans to go out and film something, sometimes you may want to do a shot list. Do just a tiny little rectangle. Figure out how you want your face to look if somebody else is filming you. I know some guys have cameramen, some people don't. And so that they can go, oh yeah, that's exactly how, okay, and then they'll fit the shot for you. Yeah.
I was going to say about that, James, actually, from working with him a little bit, you like storyboarding your videos, even on index cards. So you know exactly what the shot's going to look like, or how it should look.
Yeah, on more complicated shoots, I'll do that. Like I do index cards. They're usually really bad drawings if they're only meant for me to see and a couple other people, because I can explain them if they don't look good enough. But a lot of times, yeah, even stick figures will do. You just need to have it all in order, because you don't want to shoot in order, usually. It depends.
Sometimes you can't.
Yeah. So you need to plan everything out. I'm sure every single one of us probably has a very different process too. So I'm sure every one of us has something unique of how we do it.
I just sit in front of the camera with the torso up.
Let's see, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to shot lists. I'll usually just do it right on the script.
Yeah.
I'll say, this is shot 1, this is shot 2.
You know what? I actually do that pretty often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great minds think alike. Well, that's all I say.
There you go, yeah.
But
I write, I do a little parens and I say on screen, off screen, gameplay, and that way I can know, oh, okay, I don't have to look at the script, I can look at this and just project towards the microphone. Oh, okay, now I'm back on screen, so now I know.
Yeah, that's really important.
And then the more you do, like if I do, like my videos are kind of dialogue heavy. I kind of bumper them with some skits that are semi-funny, semi-needed as well. And so I know, like if I'm doing a dialogue shot, you do your master shot, which is both people in frame, and then you do your 45-degree angle thing. I know that. But if you're just starting out, you don't know what shots you should do, or you should, well, there's tons of references. Watch movies and see how they shoot. And what they do, making sure that, okay, wow, they cut away 5 different angles in this scene. That's very interesting. I could try that, or I can do this for this scene. So don't ever be satisfied. Make sure you get the proper coverage. That's what that means.
Proper coverage, yes. And, and the next point is really important to me too, and I cannot tell you how many times I suggest this to other people. Get lights. Folks, they aren't very expensive. If you're thinking about doing this, get some good lighting. And if you can't afford the really expensive lights that they've got with the glare covers that they have and everything, I still use a $5 Home Depot halogen light that I bounce off of a piece of 99-cent poster board. And it works. And when Sean Faust came to visit me for a shoot one time, we looked at the camera, he's like, wow, okay, well that'll work. And I said, no, I'll just turn on the light. No, I won't make that big of a difference. No, it makes a big difference. So always make sure your lighting is good when people send me videos to look at. One of the first things I look at, is it well lit? Can we see your face? Are you in shadows? You know, if you do have a pro kit, hey, use it. But if you can't, you know, improvise. But make sure that you have light. We want to see you. That's the point, you know? How about you guys? Do either of you guys, well, you have a real kit, don't you?
It depends how real you would say.
Pro kit.
Yeah. Well, I've used all kinds of stuff actually, and I think really it's like you just gotta really just look at what you're doing. You know, even if you gotta play back the tape, it's a lot of it can be self-explanatory since it's not like shooting on film with like light meters and stuff anymore. You know, I've used like desk lamps with like white pieces of paper taped in front to like soften them. So I've done that before. Lately, I've been using just one like halogen light that's like basically like a soft box, and it can, you know, it's pretty simple, but you generally want just a few lights to cover up any shadows. Basically, you don't want.
Sure.
Unless you're going for right
yourself up.
Lighting is probably beyond all of us to really discuss at an expert level. I mean, we probably all know the basics, and we can light a decent shot. But that's why they have, you know, professional people and film that whole team of people that know how to light. But fill up even lighting. That's probably the easiest tip. Make sure everything is kind of evenly lit.
I basically just grab all the lamps. I mean, I seriously don't even have a halogen thing. I have like 6 lamps in my room. I make sure they all have the same bulb, because that can look kind of shoddy. Because with these compact fluorescents that go around, you know, they're pretty much all you see now. You have soft white, which is like incandescent, and then you have the bluish white, which is, you know, more normal fluorescent. And if you mix those up, it messes with your camera. It's probably going to be constantly trying to color correct, and it's, you know, depending on what kind of camera you have.
And white balance if you can.
Yeah. But just get a lot of lights and make sure they're all the same kind, same type, you know. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
And then once a year for your Halloween special, just put a light underneath your face like this. And
That works. Yes. We'll forego all lighting rules there.
Yeah.
But then the key, I guess, is that if you can have a $3,000 camera, but if your lighting's terrible, it's going to look terrible. It's not going to be saved.
Yeah. And don't overlook the audio. That's another big part. Some people have mics. Some people have the you know, they'll film it and they'll have a separate track that they'll record and then put the tape in and then match up the audio to their lip syncing. Me, I just project. I have a camera that's a very basic camera. It's got a very good mic on it, and I just project. And as long as I can project towards it, I get a fairly decent amount of audio. Now, I may have to tweak it up or down a little bit for gameplay or whatever. And if, you know, some people use a clip-on mic, some people use a boom mic, and they just have it. What do you use for yours, Pat?
Unfortunately, sometimes I just use, I get lazy sometimes. I have a $400 microphone. I'm not recommending anyone do that. And will, like me, buy one and just leave it in the case. But a lot of times I'll just use the internal microphone. But if it's going to be somewhat different, like I just did a video where I was on a pier somewhere. I was on a pier. So for something like that, you got to hook up a better microphone, and you kind of use like the wind. What are those things called? The wind? Windshield. Yeah. Things like that. So then you hooked up like, you know, like an external shotgun mic. What do you guys use?
I use a $500 Sennheiser mic.
You beat me. Damn.
Yeah, you have to buy $100. You got to go $600. But I don't recommend it for everyone, and it gets completely different results depending on what camera you're using. And it's actually kind of difficult for what I do a lot, because if you know, you're filming by yourself and you don't really have anybody monitoring it, it could be difficult. So I got to do a lot of tests, you know. But it also has a very shallow range. If it gets too high, it'll distort, and if it gets too low, then you have to bring your audio. You get all kinds of hiss, and you got to put low-pass filters and do all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah,
like
that's a bad thing. You have an expensive microphone. It doesn't mean you can just forget about it. It actually means it's a lot more sensitive, which is really good when you use it well. But that means you can misuse it at the same time. And then Joey.
At first I was using At first I was using
Speaking
onboard.
of audio.
Yeah. What? At first I was using the kind of onboard camera mic, but then I got a shotgun mic, which is pretty much the same as almost every shotgun mic you'll ever see. I'm looking around now. They're like these Rode shotgun mics. I mean, they're a little expensive, over $100, but you really don't need to get any better than that if you're looking for a shotgun mic. Then that increases the quality of your camera audio immensely. If you need it, you might not. As far as a voiceover only, that's really easy. I actually did like my first 20 videos or something like that with a Logitech USB desktop microphone. $20. Yeah.
Have a fan out there clapping for a desktop microphone.
There we go. I since moved on to like a $50 mic XLR or something like this. I mean, it's still not any great shakes. It's a little bit better, but I mean, really, you can't go wrong with that USB. It's not that bad.
And for me, I know a lot of people also do their off-screen audio a little bit different. I still keep on projecting. I do all my stuff in one, recording, and I don't do my off-camera, sitting in front of the computer reading off the mic, because I personally like how it sounds if you sound consistent throughout the entire video. So for me, I do that, but it could be different for all of you. Maybe you want to do something, where you have the sound and you're off, when you're not on screen.
You talk about projecting, I think it's an important point to be animated.
Oh, completely.
When you're talking, because
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do that at all.
If you don't sound interested in what you're talking about, then it's going to be really hard for the viewer to be interested as well.
And you don't have to look like a Muppet. You don't have to do that. But if, I can't tell you how many different takes I do, and even just in my own head, I'll do a certain take and I go, wow, that was really dull. And then you get into it, you want the people to watch, they're watching you. And if you're going to be on camera, be animated. Let them see how excited, how disappointed, how interested you are in, what you're talking about. And that will draw people back in.
So, to close up the audio part, not that you have to have professional audio levels, because I think none of us probably do, but just don't have it to be so awful that it's distracting. Make sure it's not distracting. That's what it comes down to.